calm. It's like it doesn't want to stay. What if I do this? All right, that's like the best I got, yeah? Okay. And this needs to come in more. Okay, I think we're fine. Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome. I had a feeling there were some people who could use a personal reading. I just did dishes and gardening, and now my hands are super dry. Let's put some lotion on and get started. Have you guys ever had the pleasure of spending a holiday with your divine masculine? Is there any chance you might see them if you're in America for Memorial Day? Hmm. I'm going to be honest. I think that there is a feeling of something's missing for the divine masculine right now. So I want to look at how they got where they are and what you need to know right now. Because there's a lot of energy, there's a lot going on. And between now and October, everything will change very drastically. And I'd like to kind of get a little bit of insight into where we are now so I can, in my future readings, better understand that. So let's go ahead and, with that in mind, Two of Cups and the Tower, or the Life Experience card. Positive resolution of a conflict, a powerful revelation. Revelation and resolution. There's an insight that's happened. When we question how the divine masculine suddenly makes that change, suddenly becomes the divine partner, suddenly believes in relationships, these are the kinds of energies that we're looking for. Something has happened. And I think because it was so significant, there's almost a need for something new, something more intense. And I think that it's becoming a little bit of obsession and addiction. And so this is where we also need to be aware of the intensity of divine masculine's energies right now. Three of Pentacles. Again, we've got the Two of Cups, Three of Pentacles. Those are both divine partnership cards. Committing to the partnership, being, a member of the team on the partnership. That's very important. This is huge, because whatever the event was that led to this, and this is, if you remember, if you've ever gotten a personal from me, we've got divine deck, spirit within, like your soul, and then this is your physical. Well, in this case, this reading would be, this is divine masculine's physical. So hold on, we need one more. And now King of Pentacles. That's 3, 2, 1. So you've got the Tower card and then 3, 2, 1. Well, I think it might have been 2, 3, 1, but those are the cards. That's the order I see. I see this countdown. And this is meant to lead them to a season where it feels like they're in the right place. It's what they've always wanted. And I think what we need to understand is, for some of us who met our divine masculine prior to this separation period, we were meant to meet and have that separation. Like, this wasn't an accident. This wasn't a like, oops-a daisy. And what's going to exist, how our relationship is going to work, all those dynamics, when we get together, they're not going to be like they were before. And if it was good back then, I mean, honey, good for you, right? But if it wasn't so good back then, prepare yourself for that. Why is that so important? Because the divine masculine has been trying to get themselves to that point for a really long time. Hey, I want to feel successful. I want to feel like I'm the king of my kingdom, the emperor of my empire. I want to feel it. I want to feel that confidence, and I want to have every reason to feel it. Well, if I've never been able to feel that, but I've desperately wanted it, even when I was a kid, and then right around the time where I get into a partnership and I decide to commit and I really like go with my deeper soul desires, I get that. Well, now I'm probably going to associate that luck with you, that that energy with you. So I think that divine did not do this on accident. I think this is something where the divine masculine needs to have that victory in the early part of your reunion season so that they know this is the right place for me. And that just goes to show how much they've been denied up to this point. So overall, in the divine space, what do we need to know? Wow, now we have Knight of Pentacles. The divine masculine must buckle down in this season, but divine also knows that, and maybe this is just this particular DM, but this could be all DMs. It really depends on who this is going to end up resonating for. But if this is a collective wide reading, this says that divine knows that they're a little bit slow to act. Okay, they're a lot a bit slow to act. And so the goal here is get them to feel like it's worth it. What else is this doing in addition to helping them make these connections with our energy and our dynamic? Two of Wands. It's also helping them become who they're supposed to be. And now we've actually had 3, 2, 1. Because I think it wasn't. Oh no, we had 1, 2. Well, that was 11, 11. What we last. I mean, again, the numbers to me are very significant because it just feels like we're talking about a honing in on a path. So overall, what divine is working on is getting the divine masculine out of the energy of feeling stuck and being too afraid to make any decisions and putting reunion kind of on the back burner because in their mind they've got bigger fish to fry, even though they can't seem to get anything rolling, right? There's this, it's like get them out of that and instead bring them to a place of feeling like, you know what? If I commit to this, it'll be worth it. And then not even knowing that the benefit is going to be getting to know themselves better, getting to understand who they are, there's this underlying blessing from divine. What do we need to understand? Again, we're going into spirit now. This is where divine, we're going to look a little bit more deeply into divine masculine, not necessarily what divine is doing, but how divine masculine soul, their spirit is receiving it. I mean, so the 2 of Wands energy continues over, but we also have this 9 of Swords. And I think this says by day, there's a curiosity. By night, there is a fear. And so the soul may be in a little bit of a battle right now. But this is 11. And I think this says that once it makes sense, once the fear is gone, once they're embracing, and I think that's probably going to come with connecting with you, having those lucky, positive Midas touch experiences. But until then, I do think there's going to be a lot of hiding their emotions, hiding their truth. And so this says that if you get some contact, if you've been getting called, if you've been getting texts, reached out, whatever, listen, they may be in a really intense energy and doing a really good job of hiding that from you. You may not know just how hype they are, so just keep that in mind as you're interacting and see if you feel a little bit of intensity. If they're trying to send you messages telepathically or sending energy your way, or even not knowing that they're doing it, again, it's always really important for you to discern, why am I receiving this? And it's not meant to overwhelm me. It's not meant to stop me in my tracks and shake up my day. I am a powerful empress. I am a divine feminine. So if my DM needs me, wants to talk to me, needs me to send some energy their way, I can boldly, proudly grab a hold of that feeling and send them something healing and beautiful. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right, where are we at here? 2 of Wands, 9 of Swords. Okay. Oh, and then 10 of Cups. The hope is that when they wake up each morning, the feeling that they have continues. The hope, and this is where I think that they are kind of looking ahead and thinking about what it's going to look like to be in that space, to finally have the success. Remember, many of our divine masculines decided, let me wait until I'm in a good place before I get into any kind of major commitment. And so for them, feeling like this might be it, that there's a chance that they might be figuring some things out, they might be close. I think it's kind of making them feel like a little bit of hope, a tiny bit of faith is in there. It's soft, it's lovely. It's the thing that I think is keeping the fire burning. And I don't know what's going on right now, but there's an intensity on it. But at the very bottom of it, it is hope. Oh, wow. And then the star. I don't know why. There's something about this that it says they have a plan that has been in motion for a long time. But this is the first time in a long time in their life, not just with this regard to this plan, where they feel like they have any kind of power. And what's interesting is I think that the power that they have, I don't know about you, but for me, I always feel kind of like it's lucky to see a rainbow. It just really, the right situation has to occur for you to even be able to see that. In the same way, a lot of people feel that way about stars, shooting stars, certain, things in the sky. There's this almost like wish energy. Like it's almost like when someone has a genie and they really trust that those three wishes are going to come true. There's this feeling of maybe it's okay to hope. And so I actually like this energy. I think that Nine of Swords is going to keep this divine masculine humble, if anything. I do have a feeling that some of these divine masculines have either remembrance, so there's a reflection, there's a looking back, and as they're considering things, I feel like they can hear your voice. I feel like they can, but again, this is important because if you haven't met, then I wonder what are they hearing. But if you have, you can probably pinpoint what it is that they're experiencing in those moments, because in this time in their life, as they're trying to really get it right, there's important stuff that you've shared with them that you would know. You'd be like, you're finally listening. This is important because there are some divine feminines who have given their divine masculine that advice, and now they have to kind of, sit in that space of anticipation, focusing on self. Okay. But there are some divine feminines who are new here, and they're not in no contact separation. And they could use our wisdom. So if you're willing to share, what did you tell them? This has been coming up a lot. What did you say about this? What did you say about that? And I'm realizing more and more it's because the collective needs to know, like, oh, dang, that's good. I think I should say that. We have so much in common. If you're drawn to a reading and 10,000 other people are, you think it's just a coincidence? I think this is huge. So, okay. Well, I like that we saw the Nine of Swords energy, but I think this is kind of our answer. And now we've got what? 11. Until the divine masculine goes through this final stage, the dawn does not come. The sun does not shine. And that is where I think the Nine of Swords makes sense. It's not just there to keep them humble, it's there to guide them to the next step. If you want that 10 of Cups, you've got to deal with this energy, this 10 of Swords energy in your life first. So the soul knows something is up, but I think the soul knows about the ending. This is a card that says, embrace the change. Things are going to get better now. It's over. The addiction is over. This is interesting because I think that means that if they're in the Nine of Swords energy, they're at this peak right before the refresher, right before the renewal. That might be this intense addiction. It's like fixation is another good word for it. I'm wondering how many of you actually have the ability to communicate with your divine masculine through social media, or where you know, like I have some divine feminines where they just outright stalk the DF. Like they're in some sort of weird contact, that kind of thing. But I'm just wondering because every so often, I know it shows up on everybody's readings, but for me, I don't necessarily always feel that. And it's not just because we're blocked or we don't have contact. Sometimes I just don't get the sense that sometimes I get the sense the divine masculines can be looking to run away, to avoid thinking about the divine feminine. Maybe sometimes because it hurts, but other times because they get a little irritated and they like to place blame on you. And then they think about it and they're like, oh, it wasn't their fault. And then they take it off and now they feel guilty. So sometimes they will go through periods where they just avoid thinking about you. I know that doesn't feel good, but it's important to understand how they deal with their feelings. But I don't know why. I just get this sense of, well, what are you fixated on? What is it that you're thinking about? So again, there's a lot that I'm curious about here. In the spirit, this is what's driving them. What is it that we are missing about the integration or even maybe a spiritual growth or ascension? Something's going on here as we get to this point. Oh, whoa. So 9 of Cups wants to show up, but it's 10 of Wands. And you know what's amazing? I just told someone in a personal reading, I have to send those out tonight, I need to remember that. I just told someone in a personal reading, the course from, and this is my professional opinion with my connection to the cards that I have, my professional opinion is the order of the 10s from the most challenging energy or difficult energy or lowest energy, whatever you want to call it, up to the highest, most powerful, would be 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune. And so to see this show up after we saw the 10 of Cups says, look, this is your steps, divine masculine. And and you might think I'm making some assumptions here, but I say no wonder we're getting this sense of fixation and addiction because, well, I get the sense of avoiding doing this because they don't know how. Have you ever been at the beginning of a project and it's a little bit slow going at first because you don't really know what you're doing? Maybe you're nervous, maybe you're fearful about, competence, but maybe it's like, I just don't know what to do. For some of us, it's executive dysfunction, procrastination. But you know what I'm talking about? That might sound weird, but that's kind of what I get right now. I get a divine masculine who's going through change and spending a lot of time seeking something out that makes them feel safe and comfortable, that makes them feel excited, that makes them feel whatever. And that's exactly what someone with an addiction would do, right? So it's good and bad. It's good that we can be there for them, whether in memory, in spirit, on social media, or even in person or on the phone or whatever. It's not great that this is something they're doing that I think they're trying to avoid the call a little bit. But the order of operations from 10 of Swords to 10 of Wands here, the thing we haven't considered is that they're going to do the work whether they like it or not. They have no idea what they're headed towards, but it's going to happen. And the call can't be ignored. The call is coming from inside the house. You're not going anywhere, so get over it. All right, what else do we need to know? Wow, so we start off, and again, we've got 10 and 10. That's 11 with 2 zeros, 2 new beginnings. And I think this person is going to have probably 5 new beginnings. I mean, there's going to be a lot of energy and well, wait a minute. May, June, July, August, September, into October, yeah. That 5-month period between now and then, I think every single month, we need to do a reading on that too. There's going to be something very intense that happens. Not surprised, this is a big year, but still. All right, so we start off, 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords in the physical. In the physical world, there's no major arcana here. Let me think, I didn't leave any cards in it. Sometimes I leave a couple jokers in, but I didn't do that today. So yeah, there's no major arcana in here. And the interpretation is often about how, as it filters through the spirit and what's happening and what's helping them integrate is here doing the work, right? That in the physical, this is really what they're aware of. This is what they're doing. And we can kind of get a look inside their mind almost. But sometimes there's a disconnect between these different parts of the DM. So keep that in mind. All right, so 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords. Divine Masculine is on the edge of something important, but also, and I think this is kind of common for them, they know where they're supposed to be going, but for some reason there's like one thing they're missing. I I think it's the Ace of Swords, which would tell me it's something related to this first step. Like they can't go, I mean, again, they can't go with their divine feminine and the spiritual baby. They can't go until they get one more thing. And I think that one more thing is going to happen once this ego death occurs. They don't know that there's a rebirth after. I again see why someone would avoid that. So we start off divine masculine having a little bit of a struggle. But there's still faith here because they went to the seashore. Even with the 10 of Swords, we can see the seashore in the background. 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords. They went to the water. What is it that we need to know too? Now, King of Swords. This is coming. The Ace of Swords we needed is coming. They're going to have that moment. They're going to have that experience. But this is about clear thought. This is about somebody who is stuck and needs to become unstuck. And until they have that moment of realizing, hey, I'm stuck. I've been stuck in the mud for a long time. I've been spinning my wheels and I'm not going anywhere. But when you talk about somebody who maybe has some issues of pride or even going too humble, if you've listened to the New Wave Prophecy videos, you know that the divine masculines have a tendency ever since 2008. So from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, in that 4-year period, the divine masculines went through one of their last phases of maybe more is possible, being a big dreamer. And then by the end of that season, and there's that 12 again. By the end of that season, the divine masculine realizes, and again, this is not correct thinking, but this is what they thought. Well, it's my fault for expecting more. Who do I think I am that I deserve anything better? Maybe my issue is that I was aiming too high and putting way too high of expectations. And also, again, like, what am I capable of? Let me rethink this. So they decided in that time to settle. And the worst part is that, for me, at least knowing from the outside looking in, the worst part is that then triggered a whole season of time where God was like, guess what? Now I have to teach you to never settle. So there's something going on where they're humble in the wrong places, prideful in the wrong places, and clear thought is not as simple as we might think it would be for them because they've been stuck for so long, they don't think they're stuck. Or again, they've now, maybe they first started lying to people. No, I'm good. I'm not stuck. And, people would go by on the road. Okay, cool. They said they're not stuck. They look stuck, but maybe he's just hanging out. And then the next person go by, no, I'm not stuck. And by the time it's the end of the day, they're so used to saying, before the person even asked, they're like, by the way, I'm not stuck. You can just keep driving. The person's like, well, that was weird, So there's something about this that's like, somehow, some way, the DMs were going to end up here. What happens next is not just up to them. I think divine is going to step in, but I do think what happens next is going to change the way they see themselves, the world around them, and how they are meant to interact with people. And that is huge for the divine feminine collective. And then 9 of Cups. And remember, that card, I believe, back here, wanted to be seen. Why? Because, yes, we are going to deal with probably 9 of Swords energy, 9 of Wands energy. Okay, sure. But 9 of Cups energy is next, and that says the dream is coming back. The dream that I just told you has been really challenging for them. It's coming back. This is what's going to help them once they have this ego death, and then they're reborn, and they're like, oh, there's a thing after this. There's a season after this. Oh, dang, I didn't even know that. And they're looking around, and they're like, this feels familiar. There's something about this is actually making me think of the Sun card. This feels familiar, like a long time ago. Do you guys know I think it's called amoxicillin? I can't remember. But there was this medicine when I was a kid, and it tasted like bubble gum or something. And I remember they should have made that medicine taste like that because I wanted to eat that all the time. And it was It's actually medicine. You're supposed to take it at a certain point. But I think there was a couple points in my childhood where I would like sneak into the fridge and take a little swig of it, like, so good. Like, there's something about this that feels like that. I don't know about if when I just said that, if you have this wave of nostalgia, like, whoa, I remember that. That's what I'm getting. The divine masculine is sitting in an energy right now, and let me be real, they're looking at what's going on around them, and they're realizing they've been stagnating, and that whether it's that they decided to just not complain, oh, I don't want to complain, I'm not going to tell anybody I'm stuck because I don't want to complain, or whether they just notice, like, wait a minute, I haven't moved in 32 years. This is the same place I was in last year this time. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I do know that the trigger, the shift, the change, as much as it's going to jar them and freak them out, the one thing that they've been thinking about for a really long time, the nostalgia of the past, one thing we know, like when I was a kid, I said I didn't want to have children or get married when I was like 6 years old. But you guys know, I was boy crazy. And that started around the time I was 6 years old. So I don't think that part was really honest. There was a point when we were kids where, for everybody, I think, where having like a crush on somebody, and an innocent crush, like your first season of liking people, that's the energy I get from this. Is back then, when I was young, I remember the life I wanted to live. And we talk about the divine masculine collective being jaded. Some of us have been jaded, right? We need to deal with that. But this feels like it's not about a choice to decide to go back or to imagine it like if you were a kid again. This is, I know this energy. This is walking through the mall and going, I know that smell. And maybe for some of you, it's in the Yankee Candle store or the Bed Bath & Beyond. Maybe for some of you, it's in the food court and you're like, I know that smell. But this is it. The divine masculine knows this energy. So let's split here. What do we need to know? Wow. King of Pentacles. This is interesting to hear. This is a sync. We've got two syncs now. But also this King of Pentacles, to think that this is what's familiar to them. This is completely tying together for not only this reading, but for our collective. I do think this might really kind of apply to most divine masculines. We must understand, please like this video if you forgot, child, like this video. We must understand that what the divine masculine wants, and again, if you're new here, you've never heard this, or maybe you might know already, but if you've been around, you need to remember. So let me fill in everybody, okay? The divine masculines, when you come into union, are not going to suddenly let go of everything they were, and also not going to let go of all their dreams. And also, they're not going to suddenly change when it comes to all their traits and characteristics. In fact, what I have seen more often than not just in mine, but in other couples that I've studied, like back when I first discovered twin flames, those rare couples that are on the internet, but also with my own clients who have come back and said, hey, I just wanted to update you. It's been 6 months or a year or 5 years. I want you to know I'm in union and this has happened and this is crazy and look at all these things. One of the things that we find out is that the divine masculine has always had these deep desires. They always had this plan in mind, and the divine masculine ends up taking the stuff that we might look at and say that was shady, or like a DM who was a salesman. Nothing wrong with sales, but also inherently the very nature of sales can be shady unless you just have a really good product, really good company, and that kind of thing, like a non-commission sales, I guess. I don't know. But otherwise, if it's anything else, it's cutthroat. It can be very stressful. A lot of people can't handle that. But the skills that you can learn in that space, if you can take them and turn them into something in the spiritual space, or even go into a sales job and say, I demand to do this in a fair and equitable way and change the face of it, whatever it is, that's called light work. And there's something that says the divine masculines don't transform into some like holy angel. They take all the stuff they know and they translate that into what they're meant to do for the light kingdom. So when we think that what's familiar to them And what divine is doing, they're actually in more divine alignment than we think. The fact that we have this 10 of Wands back here, to me, says they are on their way. Where are they headed? The Wheel of Fortune, the King of Pentacles that we've seen multiple times, the 3-2-1 go. All these ones, all these tens, all this 11 energy, it's telling us something. But to see the past, the desire from when I was a kid, I always wanted to be this, I always wanted to be that. When I was a kid, maybe I didn't know exactly what I wanted to be, but I remember how I wanted to feel. I remember that I wanted love. I remember that I wanted all the things that maybe I saw my parents had, or maybe my favorite superhero, whatever it is. To see that come back right now, and they're not even past the ego death yet, they know. I think if there is a divine masculine, if you have heard your DM say to you, when I get King of Pentacles, whatever that means, right? All encompassing, when I get this dealt with, I'm going to be ready. It's these divine masculines are 100% thinking about reunion. Because that was not a joke. No DM, unless they were not a real DM and they're just like a narcissist or somebody who's future faking, no one's going to say, yeah, once I get my money together, we'll be straight and then I'll be with you. No, they're being serious when they tell us that. And when you actually talk to them about it, it's for real for them. Even though we don't need it, that's how they feel. So to see it come up is like, whoa. Those DMs who've been waiting for this moment, they can feel it. That's why it's time to buckle down and honor their commitments. The Two of Cups showed up in here, right? That's committing to the contract. That's committing to the partnership. What are we missing? What have we not considered about the physical, though? Queen of Wands. Now, my question is, Grace, are we seeing the karmic energy that we've been seeing lately? Well, first of all, I see 11. Second of all, I don't necessarily get a feminine energy to this. And I don't really get a negative energy for it either. So I actually think this is about the divine masculine. And what I think this is saying is, what we don't know is that even though they're excited that this energy is back, or they might not even know it's an energy. They just might have this weird feeling like now's the time, or I don't know. But the Queen of Wands energy says they've been afraid. Ooh, I just got a tickle. Weird. They've been afraid for a while about all this stuff, trying to be successful and what will they become and their legacy and their purpose. All this in their own way, they've been worried about it. And they've had a lot of fears about the unknown. And that's kind of coming up. So again, I do think there's a little bit of an energy here that says they're kind of avoiding their new beginnings. Wow. They really are. Yeah. They're avoiding their new beginnings right now. The wands are all in the back here. 2 of Wands, 10 of Wands, Queen of Wands. That's 11-11 back there. And then this is, well, no, this is 11-10. But still, I think that they're avoiding dealing with some of this energy because they're just anxious. This is a really important time, and I don't think they want to mess it up. I don't think they know what to do. There's a lot. So I wanted to do a deep energy check-in so that we had a better understanding of what we're dealing with. But now let's just do a quick energy read, yeah? If you have a question right now, put it in the chat. If you have a question that's not specific to you, right? But like that any divine feminine would ask. And you're like, I mean, if you want to answer for me, that'd be cool. But in general, ask that question in the chat. But why are you like that? Okay, there we go. There's one. I don't even know. Alright, that's fine. Alrighty. If you haven't liked this video yet, please do so. And if you're interested, I think I want to kind of do this. In working with me, I do have openings available on Wednesday and Thursday this week. My website is thefierygrace.com. And I do have a sale going on, so you should be able to get a call with me or even a personal reading for a very affordable price. I also have some prophetic insights in the New Wave Prophecy videos. So I would suggest just checking out some of those titles. There's a lot of really important information, and I think everyone should hear it. But I also have to be very careful about what I release to the collective. First thing we need to know overall, what is divine trying to tell us at this time? Let's focus there first. Queen of Wands. That the divine masculine's fears about the unknown have created issues of confidence and have made the divine masculine really underestimate themselves. And so, if you remember, the very first card we saw was the Tower. The Tower had that significant life event, and it was like, hey, it's time to spread our wings. I think that this is what divine is really trying to get through to the divine masculine, but the only way to get them to move is to shake things up, is to make them feel that 3-2-1, 3-2-1 countdown energy, is to show them how stuck they are and make them feel uncomfortable, because everything divine has done, I think, has only led the divine masculine to run. And that to me is where we might see that energy of the karmic showing up. So what you need to know right now is the divine masculine may have something going on, whether it's mentally, spiritually, maybe a little bit of both, that makes it really difficult for them to trust themselves when it's time to do that. How is that being dealt with in the spirit right now? And I think even like leading up to this point. Wow. I mean, if you weren't sure, if you weren't certain about this message, the last 3 cards we've pulled from 3 different decks have been Queen of Wands, Queen of Wands, Queen of Wands. Let's read about the Queen of Wands, shall we? You know what? Oh, what is Queen of Wands in here? Oh, I think it's just Queens. Right? Like, doesn't that seem like something we should do? Pentacles, Swords, Cups. I want to read this. So in this deck, it's the Mother of Wands. And interesting, it's a mother snake with a stick and some eggs. Let's read this. Attractive, domestic, vibrant. The Mother of Wands is a vibrant woman and a happy mother. Family comes first in her world. She's very protective of it and is the dominant parent within the home. Though proud and determined, she has enough grace and beauty that you'd hardly notice her forceful nature. Oftentimes, she has overcome great pain or trauma in her life. It's important not to get on her bad side. This, to me, especially with the Ten of Swords energy we saw, and that's what those 2 cards were, I believe, were connected. Or was it the Queen? No, it was the King of Pentacles. But still, there's something about this that says the divine masculine has dealt with so much. And they're going to become that fierce protector. It's going to become second nature. There's going to be a point where they almost feel that familiarity, like when they first started to stand up for people when they were in grade school, and that energy is going to return soon too. There's a cyclical nature to what they're dealing with right now. The issue is the divine masculines, I don't want to say need for drama, but it kind of comes through that way as somebody who, because of their trauma, seeks out drama. Because of their trauma, cannot help but be a magnet for it. And they use, again, it's almost like they're using that stuff to avoid the unfamiliar, to avoid that change. So divine is really having to work with the divine masculine and unlock, like I'm seeing like someone picking a lock, and it's a very, but no, no, they're trying to hack into a safe or something. It's just a very challenging thing to do, and not everybody's good at it, right? In the movies, it's like there's always one safe cracker in the world, and there's something like this where divine is having to go in and very carefully deal with certain parts of divine masculine, because if not, they'll get spooked, they'll run off, or worse, they'll run deeper into the karma that they're supposed to be avoiding. So we have this thing, we have this message. I would suggest that all of you spend some time looking up the Queen of Wands tonight. And it might feel weird to, like, if you're thinking about your DM, if your divine masculine doesn't identify as a man, then it might be like, this is fine, it's Queen of Wands, whatever. But some of you might be like, why am I looking up Queen of Wands to represent my partner? But I think that's what you should do, is be like, what does the Queen of Wands represent, in tarot, masculine energies? And just see if anybody has shared anything, because it feels very important that we saw it 3 times in a row. So how is the divine masculine fighting this? What does it look like when they're running into the karma or avoiding the unknown? Four of Swords, trauma. It's the PTSD card. I mean, it doesn't really get clearer than this. The divine masculine, they're missing a lot of signs, sync, information, things that are meant to help them because they take everything to heart and all they can think about is that it's almost like if divine comes in and says, hey, by the way, next week you're going to get a blessing. And they're like, next week? What about last month? What about 2 years ago? What about when I needed it most? And it's like, dude, can you just focus on next? No, I will not focus on next week. This is what we're going to do. Again, it's that tarot novella. It's that trauma drama thing that I was talking about. It's coming through very strong. And the pity party energy, hopefully, remember the Four of Swords guy, he's holding an he's laying on top of a golden Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords, the sword of truth. The King of Swords is going to realize, hey, I'm keeping myself stuck. So I'm hoping that this energy eventually leads to the divine masculine. The traumatic response, the being dramatic or immature or whatever they're doing, I think they're going to start looking at themselves and going, why am I like this? Like, what am I doing? Like, what is this about? And maybe try to get some help, go to therapy, or even talk to people who've been to therapy, talk to people who have the same problems as them and start to kind of understand like, oh, I see. It's the pain that has jaded me. I don't have to be like this though. So this is the first thing you need to know. Now, what is it that divine masculine is trusting in divine for? And I want to start in the physical here for them. Wow. It's the Knight of Pentacles. This is another sync. And I think that this is saying, I'm trusting that if I buckle down, that you will match my energy. Again, I think the divine masculine is, as much as they have a habit and have in the past been needing to heal and finally see that Ace of Swords of truth, the spirit of truth, right, and grab a hold of it. I also think that there is a certain level of excitement in them about the potential, like, oh, wait, maybe I really could have that divine backing and have that beautiful, wonderful experience. Like, maybe this is really possible. And so I think that this is like a co-creation with divine type thing, which is kind of the energy we're in now. We have left the last 7-year cycle of just kind of coming into consciousness, and now we are going into manifestation energy. And so for them to be excited about divine helping them to plant seeds and directing them and on their path, here's where you plant. I don't know. I think this just says, for as much as they don't know and as much as they can rely on some really ridiculous physical stuff, there's also a strength to them in that physical space. Where are they getting this from? What is it that we don't know about them as they've healed and come into this preparedness? Y'all, remember when I said the Sun card, I hadn't even shuffled yet. And the Sun card, ironically enough, has sunflowers like the Queen has in her hand, and he's holding a wand. I'm telling you, I know that we're seeing a Queen of Wands here, but I think this Queen of Wands represents the divine masculine. And if we think about what I was describing, that sounds like a little child. Some of us have very intelligent children who would never return to filth. Some of us have kids that, bless their hearts, hopefully they go to college if that's what they want to do. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't know. Like, hopefully they find something they really like. We don't want to say anything bad, but not everybody has the same, I don't know, presence of mind. Okay. And there's something here that's coming through, and it's like this divine masculine, they almost have this shift that's happening in them where they've gone from being not really there, I don't know, whatever, about everything. All I want is what I want. And they're like a big baby about it. But they're coming into a space where it's like, no, I want to be a big kid now. I'm sorry, but it sounds so weird, but that's exactly what I feel. And to see That in the spirit, you've got this person who's on the horse and they're a little bit slow, but in the spirit, there's this free spirited nature. They haven't lost, because here's the thing. Some of our kids that are more mature and very serious and highly intellectual and all this can be so stressed out. And our kids that are more aloof and goofy can really be very carefree. So again, there's a benefit to every part of it and a negative to every part too. But it's almost like they haven't lost that part of themselves. And so we see this divine masculine who's coming into this situation, and what we don't know is that this is what they've always wanted. What they've always wanted is to have something to believe in, to have someone that made them feel special, to feel love. And there's something happening right now that no matter who they were as a kid, they're coming into this really balanced place. Some of us have 3 kids, right? We've got our smarty pants, we've got our goofy boofy, and then we've got our kid right in the middle who they're just kind of, they're on point. No middle child syndrome there. And I feel like the divine masculine is coming into a new balance. And that 10 of Wands that we saw, it's interesting because we're seeing, we have the 4 of Swords where the Ace of Swords is kind of off to the side. We have the Queen of Wands showing up, the Sun card as a sync showing up. I told you I felt it, but it has the wand energy in it, almost like it's letting us know that the new beginning energies, the Ace of Wands, like first we need to get the 10 of Swords so we can get the Ace of Swords. Then we need to get the 10 of Wands so we can get the Ace of Wands. Then we need, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what comes next is love, the Ace of Cups. What we don't know is that the divine masculine is more down for what's about to happen and has actually been cool with it for a long time. It's just that something happened. And for some of you, it could have been y'all too. I think the New Wave Prophecy is talking about the entire divine masculine collective. So the New Wave Prophecy video number 1 and number 4 are me and Mr. Lightwork. That's the only video he does, is number 4, where we actually go over what happened since 2008. I didn't intend for him to do any of the New Wave videos, but when I did that video, I was like, I think they need to hear it from him. I've still never listened to it because I know it was really hard for him, so I want to leave him that privacy. But when I tell you, if you're divine masculine between 2008 and 2012, well, see, some of you might not have known them then. But if you know anything about that season, that was the season that I think broke them again. That season re-traumatized them. But that never, it didn't take away this little bit of a twinkle of faith they had. Okay, so what do we need to understand on the divine level that we have not considered about the divine masculine's willingness to open their arms and hear the call? Page of Pentacles. Wow. And now we have this pentacle. I think that this is saying the divine masculine is more aware of the path they've been on. They might not understand the twin flame aspect, the love aspect. The love aspect might just be for them like, yeah, save the princess. Once you do this, you save the princess. Kind of like, oh, in the distance. Because that's how a lot of masculine energies are trained anyways. You don't want a feminine energy presence on the battlefield because it'll just distract you and you'll end up, everybody will end up hurt. So keep them at home and blah, blah, blah. That's the soldier energy, 4 of Swords. A lot of you will remember that. That's a soldier right there. So what's interesting is to see the Page of Pentacles. It says, what you don't know is that this is the one thing that they'll always be willing to humble themselves for. And we've actually seen now everybody except the Queen of Pentacles. We've seen all the pentacles, all the court cards for the pentacles. We've seen a lot of pentacles. And then we've seen a whole bunch of Queen of Wands. We've seen the 10s. We've seen energies that are trying to kind of show us something, that there's an ending and a beginning overlapping in this season. We know that is a very common theme for this year, but also for between 23 and 24, 25, 26. There's a bunch of stuff that like big energies that have been going on for a really long time that are having a fresh start, shifting into new signs, things like that. So I like to see this. Divine masculine's more aware than we think. Divine is able to do things in their life and to get them moving through this one area of humility. And what did I tell you before? It was the Ten of Swords that kept them humble. It was the Ten of Swords that helped the divine masculine be willing to, I don't know, like step into situations and know that it would be better not to boast. It would be better not to brag. It would be better not to do anything egotistical. And I think it was like the dream of their inner child. Oh man, to see this is really crazy to me right now. It was the dream of their inner child that there were certain things that they would just be like, you know what, I'm going to behave right now. So I just want to kind of get a little bit more clarity and we'll close this reading out. We see divine is doing a big move in divine masculine's life by getting them to pay attention to signs and syncs about the unknown rather than spending so much time worrying about the unknown that they miss the important stuff. All right, that's huge. We also see that divine is able to sneak in messages and important information here and there as long as it's related to the thing divine masculine has always wanted the most. And working within that is no problem for divine. I really like that I'm seeing this adding up to 21. I saw it at one point already. I can't remember where it was. And I feel like that's the shift from that hanged man energy I've been sensing this whole time, being stuck into the world card, the enlightenment, into the new season energy like that. I can skip, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I can skip all that. Because guess what? I've been floating around the same cycle, the same energies. I was supposed to go through that 21 and start new on something new on another level, but I've been going and circling around for so long, I don't need to go through those again. I've been there, done that. How is that making sense to the divine masculine in this season, in the physical world? Four of Pentacles. It is what keeps them going on, holding strong. And again, we see that 411 energy. This is how they get their clarity and their understanding when they're willing to listen. And you might say, well, what are they willing to listen to? Remember, divine masculine has one thing they care the most about, something they've always wanted, something that is coming for them actively right now. They can feel it. They know it. They are fully aware. And for them, when they're ready, when they want to receive it, they can get a lot of foundational information. They don't really understand that, I don't think. But it can still help them feel like, this makes sense. I know I'm in the right place. It's almost like a mile marker, like a checkpoint. But what don't we understand about this? What is also happening with them that I don't think we are giving them credit for? Three of Wands. They're learning a little bit more about the plan. In fact, I don't even think, what I should say is they had a dream that they're now turning into a plan. And so to see the 7 energy here would tell me, yes, 4 and 3, divine masculine is coming into a new understanding of the path that lies ahead, the next 7 years, the last 7 years, what it means to actually have a firm foundation before you take a step forward. They're starting to see all of that because of what divine is doing. Do they always get it? No, but it's there. The seeds are planted and it's ready for them. Now, when it comes to that unknown, what is it that is happening spiritually that's giving the divine masculine some clarity when it comes to that feeling of there's a chance that I could have this thing I've kind of always known I'm supposed to have? Almost like I can taste it. I remember it even though I've never had it. What are they getting out of this? There's the Queen. I called her, but I didn't know where she would be. And right now we kind of have a bit of a pattern. So we've got the 411, 411. We've got the Queen, Sun, Queen. And I think that the reason the Queen didn't show up before is because, I don't know, I just would have very strongly probably pointed at the divine feminine and been like, oh, this is somehow you. But no. I don't know why, but I know this is the divine masculine's inner feminine coming to life. And that's why we didn't see her already. Because I think that in that time of sitting in the stagnant energy for a while, that means that their inner feminine has also been stagnant, because the last few years has been like a training ground for the divine feminine or divine masculine's inner feminine. There's something happening, and I love the Pentacles continuing. Again, this is their dream. This is their space. This is their world. This is what They're going to take everything they've ever known and turn it into in that. And we're in that season now. So to see the Queen of Pentacles show up, it's like, look, I don't really know what to do all the time, but something is coming through. And I remember when I was young and I was excited. Like, I don't know about you guys. Maybe I played with Barbies, but I also played with Legos. I played like video games. There's something, I'm thinking back to that when you were that age and you could just sit and tinker for hours. And I would like set my Barbies up like a soap opera. I didn't really play with them. I would like change them, dress them up, put them in the thing, and then I would just stare and like give them all voices like a soap opera. And I can see the divine masculine in that space, kind of like I remember when I was young and I would create and I didn't have any boundaries or barriers. I didn't have limitations. This is something that they've been missing because of the unknown part. When they were children, when they were young, when they were more comfortable, before they were jaded, there was this energy that said, it doesn't matter. I'm going to make something amazing. Who cares? The reason I'm interested in the Queen, Sun, Queen, just like we have the page, well, this is the knight actually, Sun page here, this pattern continues. This is 21 again. And what this says is, yes, because of the divine masculine's willingness to go forth with the things that they've always desired, they're also going to experience a spiritual shift forward. They are leaving this just limbo energy. They're done now. They can't do this anymore. They just didn't know how to get out. Now they do. It's that Ace of Swords. I have to start with the truth. So what's the truth? Since we're talking about it, what is the seed that was planted? And that takes me back to, what did you say, Divine Feminine? Wow. What is the seed that was planted? Did we look back here? Hold on a second. Really, pause, Grace. What don't we know about this? What are they creating? Six of Cups. I almost didn't even touch it. But they're creating Six of Cups. Y'all, please like this video. If I'm not mistaken, there's over 200 people here, but less than 100 likes. Do y'all really not like it, but y'all watching it? Y'all don't like videos because it's like an energy exchange. That's all. Please like the video. This Six of Cups tells me the same way we've got the Six of Cups is giving the flower. The divine masculine has this dream of the sunflower. They remember the sunflower even though they can't remember how they grew it. So what they've been doing as the Queen of Pentacles, it's like, the Queen of Pentacles is the only one that has the flower border. They're trying to create that innocence, that love from back in the day. They're trying to create their new beginning. They're trying to make sure they're ready. Sorry, back to this. What is the truth? The seed that was planted, the truth that is finally coming to reality for them. Wow. And now this is amazing. Now we have 414, 414, 411, 411, 1191, 1191, 1191, 1191. Sometimes people forget that I'm not a tarot reader. I don't read for myself or anyone else outside of this place. I do this for the collective because I believe twin flames is something important. I don't believe that there is a magic that can make this happen. Maybe there is, but it would take I'm assuming a lot of work, no? Look, this is nuts. But is it really that different from any of my other readings? No. Because here we understand we have to meet everyone where they're at. Just like I needed someone to meet me where I was when I first started my journey and at points where it got rough. And sometimes divine knows you don't want to hear from me. You don't even want to see certain cards, but numbers, patterns, syncs and signs that are undeniable. What's interesting actually to me is that this card, this Knight of Pentacles, in this playing card deck, this is the Knight and the Page. And now we've seen both. It is either way. What you must understand, just like we have, what are they creating? They're creating the Six of Cups, the unconditional love. Here we have, what's the seed that was planted? That we are better together. Two heads are better than one. We're meant to be. that there's something special about what we could create together. The truth is, honestly, the truth is we're twin flames, but okay. All right, fine. The truth is, there is something otherworldly driving us together. What is the seed that was planted? Why does their mind always go back to love and reunion? 3 of Cups. Wow. It's because of who you are, and not just like, oh, you're great. It's because when they got to know you, either in person, on a soul level, whatever it is, when they got to know the different parts of you, it reminded them of home, of who they were. This is supernatural to them. Divine feminines are not the only twin flames on the journey. Divine feminines are not the more powerful or whatever. And divine feminines are not the only one who experiences signs, syncs, and a spiritual ascension or awakening. Divine masculines do too. Divine masculines feel their way through just the same. And this is huge for them. Because after all the trauma and drama, all the pain, to know that there's a chance for love, to know that this, what is this, 4 and 3 again? 4 and 3 again, to know that there's a path that lies ahead. Let me show you that. 4 and 3, 4 and 3, and 1 plus 6. The split divine masculine deck is 7, 7, 7. I told you this is 21. I want you to take some time when you listen to readings and ask yourself, why am I here? What am I supposed to be getting? Sure, it's all entertainment. Sure. Oh, maybe I'm just getting some spiritual wisdom, knowledge, understanding. If I'm on Grace's channel, maybe I'm here for the partnership teaching to better understand divine masculines. They drop gems, great. But no, what the fuck are you doing here? Why this message? Why now? Why today? If reunion's around the corner for you, what are you supposed to be doing with this? If it's not, how are you supposed to use this to make the next season of your ascension, but during separation, better? To make it worthwhile, to be whatever it needs to be for you and your partner. Because they are on a path. Somebody the other day said, this channel, people I'm sure comment this all the time, right, on everybody's channel. People say, this channel's been saying the same thing for all these years. Well, what's the difference in the message? Nothing's changed. Do you know how many new people we have? How many old people only stay subscribed because they don't want to unsubscribe from this ministry? They want to make sure that people know this is the one to find. Do you know how many people stick around just to be good stewards of their gifting? Do you know how many people stick around because they want the coaching that they get knowing I'm a life coach before I'm anything else here? You don't think people come into union? Why are you here then? We believe in reunion this lifetime, and it's readings like this that show us it's not just us, guys. What is Divine trying to say to you tonight? Overall, 12, the card I called from the beginning. The Divine Masculine is awakening. Their awakening process from 12 to 21, that flip, is going to allow them to look at things from a different perspective. And it's not forever. Their stagnation is not forever, and it's worth it. They have to learn, like we saw with the 2 of Wands repeating, that being themselves, especially in a divine partnership, that's the way. That's the only way. So don't look at this as punishment if you can. On your best days, look at this and say, thank goodness that they're in their cocoon right now. It might not feel like it. It might feel like they're out in the world doing their thing, but let's be real. If that's really your twin, do you really think they're okay without you? Come on. What are you missing? What have you just not considered and that you gotta know tonight? the high priestess. And there's that 1-2-2 from the very beginning. Change. Listen to your intuition, have patience, and consider carefully what you want before acting. Not only are you being guided to do that, but your divine masculine is as well. And this is where the patterns begin to show up. Wow. Is this the 3 of Pentacles that we saw earlier shows up right underneath the awakening? 1 + 2 is 3. And now we even kind of have that 1, 2, 3 coming in again. What else do we need to understand? Spiritually speaking, that the next step for the divine masculines from this Knight of Pentacles is Knight of Cups. They want to be able to show you the love that you deserve. They want to be able to be the person you need them to be. And they also desperately want to be that person for themselves. They've never known like self-love and all that. Like therapy is what? I mean, investing in self. I mean, again, unless it's something related to this Pentacles dream, that's the only way Divine was able to sneak some things in. Otherwise, this person has always been kind of slow ever since everything went wrong, ever since that trauma happened, ever since that heartbreak brought that dark cloud over them. But the fact that they're showing up to the river in the first place, that still counts for something. Imagine how scared they're going to be when they first start this relationship with you. If you let that devastate you or anger you, you're missing the point. And you probably have some work you need to do. But if instead you can say, man, think about having a chance to be with the best person for you in the world, perfect love, and you have been so traumatized that you're terrified. You can't even enjoy it at first. It's like when you rescue a puppy. It's sad because when I say like, people say, are you saying my divine masculine is a dog? Are you saying it's like, well, my DM is my child? That's disgusting. It's like, what's wrong with y'all? Listen to me. It is similar to when you rescue an animal and you have to be the one that says, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to make sure I'm extra careful. And I can't be afraid of you because I know you're going to feel that. I have to be sure, dominant, assertive, present, but also soft, loving. I have to balance my inner feminine and my inner masculine and make sure you know that you take your time getting used to this. That's what this is going to be like. They're going to be so scared. But there is a excitement. That's why they're on the horse. Because they remember. What can you just not understand about how they feel about you that on a soul level doesn't go away because separation truly is a myth? That's always been you. Remember the Six of Swords from the beginning? Again, the syncs we've seen today are unreal because we haven't seen that many cards. This next phase of going out with the baby and taking all the troubles and working through them together and everything that's to come, this has been a dream. Remember? This little guy, the little naked dude, he has a wand in his hand, honey. In case you missed it, that's a wand in his hand. And he's wearing this fabric that one day is going to get turned into the tunic. It's right there. He's waving it around on a flag. This is like ancient history for the divine masculines. This is what they're looking for. A chance to go off and make it. I hear cleave, cleave. What you can't understand is that there's a reason they're coming to the water. And this is not because Divine told them so. It's because Divine told them it's time for the thing that they've been waiting for. Which, guess what that tells me? They were right. And that kind of makes me mad. Because I don't feel like Mr. Lightwork should have made me wait. But dang, maybe it was a good thing that we did. Maybe we need to trust their intuitive nature more than we think. Maybe not all the way. They don't even know what they're doing. They don't get it right yet. But still, there's certain stuff when it comes to this long-term purpose that they seem to just know. And it seems to be the one thing that's going to help them be willing to be a team player, because they're going to see how willing you are to play. I do believe that the Divine Masculine Collective in 2024 will enter 24. It's not 411 only. There's also 24. Wow. Sorry. We'll enter a new era for Divine Masculines everywhere. And it's not because of them. It's because the divine energy, the energy that is over all of us, has shifted. So if you are interested in learning more about this, check out some more of my readings. Check out some of Mr. Lightwork's love letters. They're all for different people, so you're going to have to use discernment. Even my readings are all for different people. This reading, to me, I do believe is for the whole collective, but in the beginning of most readings, I'll tell you, hey, this might not be for everyone. If you stay to listen for the gems and the relationship coaching and all that stuff, awesome. But if not, just be prepared that this might not be for your soul. Maybe click off and find another video of ours, because we've got some really important messages here. If you want to work with me, I think I already did this, didn't I? When did I do this? Well, if you want to work with me, now's a good time. Once again, somehow, I don't know how, I don't understand it, but somehow I'm able to basically pinpoint different energetic events, even down to solar flares. Like, y'all, again, it's not because I'm doing something just to be like, look at me. But there's this information that I have for the collective. That's why I'm still here. I know what's going on right now. I understand what's happening in the collective. If you need someone to talk to about this because you have no one else, if you need someone who gets it, waiting any longer, especially if you know you're going to do it anyways and you're just nervous, this is a really important time. You should know what's going on. Somebody asked me how to find the New Wave Prophecy videos. And they also said my website was a little confusing. So every so often, I do like to just remind you guys how to get there. The website is thefierygrace.com. It looks like that. So it's a simple, first page is a simple scrolling web page. You're either going to click services, courses, or exclusives. These are pre-recorded messages, but they're kind of more like personal readings who I don't know who to give them to. There's a bunch of love letters in here that, like, I don't even think I advertise the last love letter. So if that's for you, I guess you're supposed to hear it whenever you hear it. But what I tell people is go to services, because most everything's there. And the first few that are there are probably what you're looking for. The first service is tarot sessions. The third service is the reunion special that changes every month. It's kind of similar. It's usually going to be a phone call, a personal reading of some sort, and then a free exclusive, like a bonus exclusive. The fourth one is phone sessions. The difference between phone sessions and tarot sessions is this has tarot cards. Phone sessions don't. The Reunion Journey Toolkit is the most important tool that I think every twin flame should have. Something I recommend that people consider. The relationship styles. It's at the very bottom. Relationship styles video. This video is really important because it breaks down all the different types of situations people can find themselves in as a twin flame. But otherwise, there's assessments here to help you figure out, am I close to reunion? How close or far am I from being a true divine feminine? What does that look like? And what about my divine masculine? Are they even divine? What areas of their life need to be reviewed? And then personal readings are here. So that's the first 6 are the main ones you're probably going to be looking for. And if personal reading just means you get a recording from me, not a phone call. So if you're like, no, Grace, I want to talk to you, tarot sessions. Or I don't want to talk to you with tarot. I do want to talk about my twin. Or maybe I want to talk about my business. Or maybe I want to talk about my YouTube channel. Or maybe I want to talk about just something I can't tell my therapist, but I know that you have a background in psychology and I kind of need to talk. Like, again, these are the main ones. The New Wave Prophecy videos are the second. Most of the stuff on my website has an additional discount. So you click on something and add it and always check the cart, because it's going to be a different price most likely. The New Wave Prophecy videos are extremely important. There's already a bunch of them. I've had to hold off on recording anymore because it's a lot of information for me even to download and understand. I needed to take some time with it. So this is a good time to catch up if you've been wanting to. There is a way to get each of the different video sections. Like you can get the individual videos, or you'll see it's like New Wave Teaching Series. So that's all the teachings. If you're interested in learning about the April 8th eclipse, what happened in the middle of May and what's happening in October and how it's all connected, video number 7 is extremely important. The videos I was talking about before, number 1, the DM in opposition, and number 4, that's Mr. Lightwork's version. And then we also have these astrology modules. There's a whole series on it. If you have ever wondered what other energies are affecting you and your journey and your divine masculine, we as a whole wave have our own birth chart. We have our own energies. We have a Saturn's return as a wave. There are multiple waves. Your children or nieces, nephews, your students, whatever, are most likely on the next wave. There's a lot of information, and there's a whole astrology series to break all that down. So if you've wondered what's a twin flame wave, what does all this mean, I have a whole series on that. And then the last part, the twin flame searching for truth series. I have taken all of the questions that my collective has asked, all the questions I had that led me on the rabbit hole that is twin flames and eventually led me here. I've taken all of that and broken it down in different teachings. And again, there's a full series as well. And then you can also get the full catalog. So I just wanted to make sure every so often, I have a couple of clients who have visual impairments and are unable to go through my website and want to be able to understand it. So someone has asked me to do that. But I also have clients, again, who are just like, I don't really do online shopping. I don't know how it works. I appreciate those of you who don't mind hanging out, listening to that. And I also appreciate those of you who understand this is my life. I don't have a car. I don't go anywhere. Mr. Lightwork and I stay home and work all the time on this channel, working with the collective on our calls. I appreciate those of you who understand if I didn't get paid that I wouldn't be able to do this. And the same way you pay a psychologist, or the same way you pay a doctor, or the same way you pay an esthetician, people are paid for what they do. And I keep my prices low. My courses are extremely affordable. I appreciate those of you who don't make me feel bad for... I do free readings. There's thousands of them on the channel. I'm doing my best, okay? I really appreciate all of you for just giving me grace and showing me love, especially knowing that I'm handling the energies of the collective and your DM most likely. I think you get that, you know what I mean? So thank you for everybody who shows me love and makes me feel like I'm accepted here, because I'm kind of just like a weird, like, Christian girl who just knows that there's something important happening. And sometimes I feel like I just don't belong. And I'm really grateful for those of you who keep encouraging me and pushing me when I get nervous or think that, who am I helping? So if you've been blessed by this ministry, all you can do is just like the video, maybe leave a comment. But again, if you want to work with me, let me know. If not, there are thousands of free readings, and there's even thousands of readings for those of you who are members. Thank you so much, by the way, to the members. I don't say thank you enough, but there's only a few of you. But those of you who are like, hey, Grace, I'm going to give you $1 per month, that pays our electric bill, or that pays our Spectrum bill, so we can keep the internet going. Like, I just want to say thank you, because I don't really say it enough. To those of you who are coming in and liking video and that's all you got for me, bruh, sis, thank you. Seriously. How we operate here on YouTube, but more so it's how we get our messages to the people they're supposed to get to. Whatever level of participation you want to have in this, just thank you. And to the tribe, what's up? I might be going live twice a week now. I feel like there's some intense energies. I might be coming back, but if not, just make sure you're looking out. Most days we should have a video. Again, I'm not going to force videos out, guys. So last week I didn't feel like there was a video 1 or 2 days, and I'm not going to waste your time, you know, and I'm not going to let your DM waste your time repeating the same stuff. So I love you. I'm not checking the chat. Okay, it's still running. I love you guys, and I really hope that some of you will take the time to rewatch this reading, because this does not even begin to show the signs and syncs and really the wonders that showed up in this reading. And there's so many gems. There's so much important information here. All right, I love you. I was supposed to go live earlier on Sundays, and look at this, it's still late. I hope you have a wonderful holiday if you're here in America, a wonderful week otherwise. Talk to you later. Peace.